Alright, imagine this. You're waking up in a modest apartment on the outskirts of Los Angeles. The sun is peeking through the blinds, but it's already hot, and not just the weather. Your rent just went up again. Your commute is brutal. Taxes are sky high. Crime in your neighborhood has spiked, and you're starting to wonder, what exactly are you paying so much for? Now imagine packing up everything you own into a U-Haul, hitting the road, and heading south or east, toward more space, lower taxes, fewer regulations, and a fresh start. Welcome to the Great American Migration. Over the last decade, millions of Americans have picked up and moved, many of them to just two places, Texas and Florida. These two states have become magnets for people from California, New York, Illinois, and other traditionally blue states. But why? What's so appealing about Texas and Florida? Is it really about freedom and sunshine, or is there something deeper going on? This isn't just about real estate or politics, it's about the future of America. Let's unpack it. The numbers don't lie. Between 2010 and 2020, Texas gained nearly 4 million new residents. Florida added 2.7 million. In 2022 alone, Texas gained over 470,000 people. Florida wasn't far behind, with 400,000 new arrivals. Meanwhile, states like California and New York saw their populations shrink. U-Haul rental data tells a similar story. The most requested routes? California to Texas. New York to Florida. Chicago to Dallas. And it's not just individuals. Businesses are making the move too. Tesla, Oracle, Hewlett-Packard, and dozens more have shifted headquarters to Texas. In Florida, financial firms and hedge funds are setting up shop in Miami and West Palm Beach. This isn't a coincidence. It's a trend. A big one. Taxes, housing, and regulations. Let's start with the obvious, money. Texas and Florida have no state income tax. That's a huge deal, especially for high earners in California or New York who are used to handing over 10 to 13% of their income to the state. Housing costs are another massive factor. In places like Austin or Tampa, you can still buy a decent home for what a small apartment costs in San Francisco or Brooklyn. For remote workers, that's a game changer. And then there's regulation, or rather, the lack of it. Both Texas and Florida are known for their pro-business environments. Fewer zoning restrictions. Lower building costs. Friendlier tax policies. If you're starting a business, it's a lot easier to get off the ground. The political shift. But it's not just about money, it's about ideology. Florida and Texas have positioned themselves as the anti-California, the anti-New York. During the COVID-19 pandemic, both states kept businesses open longer, resisted mandates, and championed freedom over government control. Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida made headlines with his hardline stances on masks, vaccines, and education policy. Texas Governor Greg Abbott did the same, pushing back against federal mandates and positioning the state as a stronghold of conservative values. For many Americans, especially those disillusioned with the political climate in their home states, this was incredibly appealing. It wasn't just a move. It was a statement. Cultural identity and the new frontier. There's also a deep, psychological piece to this. Texas and Florida represent something in the American imagination: freedom, independence, opportunity. For Texas, it's the rugged frontier, the cowboy mythos, the wide-open space. For Florida, it's sunshine, retirement, reinvention, and escape. Moving to one of these places isn't just a lifestyle shift. It's a symbolic return to what some see as true American values. But it's not all sunshine and barbecue. Here's where it gets complicated. Rapid population growth comes with challenges, big ones. Texas is facing soaring housing prices in cities like Austin and Dallas. Infrastructure is under strain. Schools and hospitals are struggling to keep up. The power grid in Texas has already failed catastrophically once, in February 2021, and experts warn it's still vulnerable. Florida? It's literally sinking. Rising sea levels and climate change make much of the state a ticking time bomb. Hurricanes are getting more intense. Flood insurance costs are skyrocketing. And despite the influx of residents, the state's affordability crisis is growing. The culture wars are heating up too. In both states, policies targeting education, LGBTQ+ rights, and immigration have sparked national controversy. And for some new residents, the political climate they once admired now feels increasingly extreme. The tech exodus and the urban boom. Let's zoom in a little. In Texas, Austin has become a new Silicon Valley. It's techy, it's weird, it's booming. The city's population has exploded, and so has its skyline. Miami, meanwhile, is becoming the Wall Street of the South, attracting crypto startups, hedge funds, and young professionals looking for sun and hustle. But these urban booms are creating new tensions. Longtime residents are getting priced out. Traffic is worse than ever. And the very thing that drew people to these places, affordability and freedom, is starting to erode. Where is this all going? That's the big question. Are Texas and Florida the future of America? Or are they simply the latest in a long line of migration trends that eventually reverse? Final thoughts. People don't just pack up their lives and move without a reason. There's always a push and a pull. A sense that somewhere else might offer something better. And in today's America, that somewhere else is increasingly looking like Texas and Florida. Whether it's the dream of homeownership, escaping high taxes, better weather, or just the promise of a fresh start, these states have become symbols of possibility, symbols of freedom, affordability, and reinvention. But here's the thing: migration isn't just a movement of people. It's a movement of values, of politics, of culture. And when millions move, the ripple effects touch everything, from housing markets and schools to traffic patterns and voting booths. These shifts raise important questions. What happens when affordability invites unsustainable growth? When freedom of lifestyle meets tightening policy debates? When paradise starts to feel a bit too crowded? For the people moving, this is a leap of faith. For the people already there, it's a major adjustment. And for the country as a whole, it's a wake-up call about what works, what doesn't, and what the American dream even means anymore. Because at the heart of it all, this migration isn't just about Texas or Florida. It's about us. About the State of the Union. About what we're chasing and what we're leaving behind. Maybe it's time we ask, instead of just running to the places that seem to have it all, how can we bring those qualities, affordability, opportunity, freedom, to every corner of the country? What if we stopped treating certain zip codes like a golden ticket, and started building communities worth staying in? Because the truth is, no state is perfect. But the more we understand why people move, and what they're searching for, the more we can shape a future that feels like home, no matter where you live. If this journey opened your eyes or sparked some thoughts, go ahead and hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more long-form explorations just like this. Stay curious. Stay kind. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.